Good morning. I was sitting and talking with my visitors today. I'm sorry. Time went by. That's what happens. I have everything here ready to get my names in my pot that is already created. So let's see who's here today. So good morning, Carol Swisher. How are you? And Cavell and Carrie and Barbara Ward. And yes, I wish everyone has a wonderful day. We are experiencing the hurricane Nicole, very small, but it's a lot of rain and the wind, just like the other hurricane. And Christina, good morning to you. Okay. Yes, no messages today. That's why it doesn't say it. I'll catch up. So I actually woke back up late in the night to really watch what they were saying about. They seemed very optimistic, and yet what they show on the screen doesn't. So I now understand we have a few days to wait. And the White House deputy secretary came on and said she had gotten phone calls this morning that it was still very plausible that they could have both the House and the Senate. So let's all hold our hearts in truth and believe and have faith, and we'll see what happens. So that was exciting for me because I didn't understand. They were showing nothing about the Congress. So apparently there's not a lot that's not decided yet. All right, so let me get everyone's name on here so I don't get real behind. Okay. So let's call in Mother and Father. Let's ask them to come down and sit within our hearts from the great central sun, bringing light and harmony and balance. And we'll ask for all the very different levels of phylums of the angels that exist, and the ascended masters that are connected to the hierarchy. And we'll welcome all those from out through the universe and beyond that are of light and are willing to learn more about their own process of enhancing and raising their consciousness and light. All right. Is there any questions before we begin? Maybe from the last couple times Jesus talked or anything? Okay, everyone's quiet. So let me get back in with him and we will start. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. It seems a long period of time since we talked. Today I reach out my hand and ask for you to walk with me. Today it is not into the clouds, it is into the forest. Our conversation today will be about community. How you see it, how you feel it, how you observe it, how you participate with it. For as we start to walk and feel our feet crackle upon the ground, We understand the spawning of leaves and them being beautifully green, and when their journey of that beauty and providing breath for all of us exists and complete, they fall to the ground to help nurture the soil of the earth. Near I can hear a squirrel scurrying in the trunk of the tree. This squirrel lives there year-round. And there are so many others that yet we cannot see. But have you ever thought to look at the trees as homes? Much as similar to how you all live. With concern for children and small animals, and fear of danger and weather. We're going to a lower experience of community, that which is a belowness for you to gain some of the community. So if we were here in the redwood forest, the big, tall giants they are called, you would see that they are together underneath the ground as a community, not a single tree. So I wish that you would just contemplate that for a moment. Just for a moment. The tall giants themselves do not stand alone. They stand underneath the ground in a community. The ears that hear within the trunk of those giants hear much and far. They feel laughter, and they understand the bringing upon of the sun upon their upper leaves and trunks to know happiness. Is a desire to become like the forest? Not in its completeness, but contemplate for a moment how you are in your community. For I think you would agree with me, it is the community of the forest that has it be a forest. They're homes to so many of those things that find their homes there. So where you now live within your homes, and what you would call your community, what do you do? To speak to another, to reach out to another, to help another, to understand what's going on for another. If you look within the consciousness of your being, and there are many different thoughts about others. And it is true that we must begin to know that we are part of the whole. So that which we perceive in another, we must discover where it is within ourselves. Perhaps it has been healed, but perhaps it's simply stagnant and separate, or even being hidden. For the greatest gift we can all have is to be able to see and look within ourselves and embrace that whichever we find, and to give it love and understanding and bring about transformation. So let's breathe for a moment as a beautiful pink from the ray of Orion, third ray, comes down through everyone's crown. Comes with the essence of community. This would change friendship, would it not? This would change how you see yourself in the mirror. It would change how you see others in your world. It is about letting them become your teachers. It is not that it's necessary that you tell them that they have become your teacher. But for he or she who becomes aware that the process that's happening here is within and without, is he or she that will step forward with a greater quickness. So I would like you to all take a huge in-breath and out-breath. And for those of you who are confused, take a moment and allow your crown chakra of the pink to be like an umbrella over your head. Let it open and allow it to have the knowledge of my Father. Yes, there is a simplicity in this life. And yes, it is a simplicity that must shine through a light and see many levels of perceptions. I hope you can understand me. For there are those who stand too long in what they believe is the simplicity of within themselves, and who yet not understand the complexity of the movement to owning the truth of your light is to see yourself not only with them, but them within you. And this is where the next level of consciousness will be in unity. As you are, so are they. As they, so are you. So I'm asked quite often, are we all made the same? And I say, as I sat with my Father for this discussion, no, each flame is unique and yet a part of the whole. Beyond that, the brain consciousness has not reached yet an understanding to understand. So you must embrace what feels as truth for you. This journey now is a movement of it's all about the perception of what you see or what you feel, or to begin to look at what is needed. Is there a need? Or is it that which busies yourself from instead of looking at the truth? For there need be no worry. There need be the adventure of the moment, the excitement of the clouds in the sky, and the rainbows we cannot deny. And what are they saying and what do they do? Well, I will say, they are speaking to you. And the land in so many places resonates with such high energy. It allows you to come and to cleanse your root and to purify your strength in standing here upon this earth and feeling free. And yet as you encompass all your other chakra settings into the root, you will find the unity of community, even within your chakra system. There will become a day when there will not be different colors for different chakras. There will be a wholeness. Those in higher dimensions no longer have individuality, which here in this earth plane is so important to all of you. And this is what I mean about the consciousness yet has not raised itself to understand. They live in group life, community. So is this why I spoke of community today? Perhaps it is a beginning to allow you to see how to begin to set yourself free. Free from holding on too tight. As my friend the Buddha would say, it is never too tight. It cannot be too loose. It must be the middle way. And in the middle way, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look into your right eye and you are willing to see the story that it says to you. There need be no resistance, no anger, no why am I here? There need be just simply the understanding, and where do I go now? What's next? You see? Surrender. So, my brothers and my sisters, as I sat and spoke with my Father, He wishes you simplicity. And if you find simplicity, then you have found Him. And as I sit and talk to Mother, when you find nurturance, you find her. The love and the embrace and the angel she has given you that more than willing to wrap her wings around you. This world that you find yourself has a great magic of God's light everywhere and anywhere through it. Days like today or tomorrow or the next will all be willingly filled to bring new to you. You need only place yourself in that position. For a while might have seemed that I walked for 40 days. It was an illumination in my experience of my heart. I knew my Father had not let me go. I knew my mother did not stop holding my light for me. So I enjoyed my inner soul, my being. So this for to you too, I say. Let it be the middle way. Discover and taste and see and take your feet and walk and wiggle your toes in just the pure lawn of the grass. And ask, what am I to do with this? And why is this here for me today? What am I to learn? What is it saying? What is it speaking? Much as you do with your animal kingdom, so many of you feel that you are so connected to your animals, and yet why? What are they saying? What have they brought to you? Have they brought to you the love that you cannot give yourself? Have they brought to you the loyalty you can't find anywhere around you, within yourself? These are things to discover. These are things to contemplate. And if I have twisted you around and turned you a few times, then I have completed my goal. For it is always about study. It is always about growth. It is always about stepping 2 steps more forward and understanding what was behind. And as you do this, there will become a smile that will always be on your face. A happiness, a peace, like the sweetness of a brand new born kitten that has no clue and yet doesn't cry. It says, hello, I'm here. Just show me where to go. Yes, you are similar to the kitten. Hello, you're here. And what is it that you desire? What is it that you desire? My suggestion, if you want to ask, would be love. Love will open up many doors. Love will be the result to many misunderstandings. And love will be that which heals you and brings change. Yes, we are looking for change, for that is the intention of the path, for you to transform into the truth of who you are and what you've always been. But remember, there is no hurry, for the beauty and the sweetness of that kitten can never go away, just as in for you. You may forget it, you may hide it, you may place it under wounds and pains, but there will come a time when you will once again reach out to it and have a different understanding and embrace it, which brings you a greater depth and a lifting of higher consciousness into the understanding of seeing that from your brain where yet you cannot. It will be illumined. So I'm grateful. Thank you for taking my hand. Thank you for our journey together. I hope you could feel the community as we all move together. It is a beginning. It lets you understand there's nothing to fear, for there is always another that is very dear and near. My blessings come to you, you see, for community is as it's meant to be, and it will grow and it will become, and you will find peace as you become one. Many blessings from within my heart, the heart of my Blessed Father and my Blessed Mother. Many blessings. You can come back in the room when you're ready. That was quite a deep message. You can see why I was like somewhere else when you all appeared. Yes. And Joanna, you have to come back on Monday for a message. Today isn't a message day. I do 2 days on messages and 2 days on conversation. So how did you enjoy the talk today, everybody? Does anyone have thoughts? It makes you very still inside. when he speaks. Does everybody understand? Or do you have thoughts? Barbara says, "It was a beautiful journey in the forest, much to learn from nature and its existence as a community, and how that compares to how we live in our own communities." Yes, that was the intention to show you. Quite profound. Even though I came in late, it felt as though this was deeper in energy. Yes, that was Jesus speaking, so his energy is a little more, a little bit, maybe. A lot more. Yes. Mhm. I think it was an intention of bringing you into a depth of understanding how much more of you yet there is to understand. That even when you reach a point and you say, "Oh, yeah, this is it," to understand that there's just always so much more. There's almost always so much more your heightened awareness can bring to you as you see things different and perceptions change, and you're able to live in the world differently than you had before. Yes, that's true, Tabaya. Thank you, Cavell. There is one thing that Jesus has that gift of being the inspiration, no doubt. It was very interesting when he spoke of other dimensional beings and how they're now individuals, and I could see him looking at them. It was very interesting. It was like clusters of balls of light. Their experience of identity in all ways is so shifted as you raise up. And think of how attached so many people are to how we are, how we live, what we wear. And at some point on the journey, uh, that dissipates because it's not really a requirement of the evolution. That's becoming unattached, which we all do work in our journey, but on a very deep level, different. So if that helps you begin to see the possible length in the journey and the transformation that will occur. And Cabell says, very inspirational. Yes. So I'm going to finish cutting these up and get them into my bowl I do have here with other cut names. For the free giveaway of a session of a half hour. I do the session on Zoom. That is how I work. And I will send you that Zoom connection. All right, I'm going to fold them all. Is everybody very quiet inside the same way you're quiet in your voice? I appreciate your comments. Today, with the hurricane, we know the earth is growing. It's transforming. Some that's been and completed its process is leaving, and more new is becoming deposited. We can see that in the rain that comes and how it runs in a stream. Okay. Anybody else have a thought? Some people already left. All right, so now you can see I have all these names in here. Let me mix them up a little bit. A couple fell out. Here's one all closed up. This person already works with me. I'll have to remember not to put that in. There's another one. Kathy Madden. I don't think she's here today, is she? No. So I will put it up on my community page, and we'll see if she comes back on again. And then Monday we'll start over again. Any questions from anybody? All right. If you have a question, you can ask me and I will talk about it. Does the energy still feel good to you? It is beautiful to be here for the messages. Yeah, I didn't see her today either, Carol. The energy feels very powerful. And maybe as you leave us here today, you can attempt to hold on to that community wholeness message. You know, it helps you have a greater understanding of frequency and vibration, and how people that you meet have a feeling that they're sending off, just as when you're out, you're sending off a message in your vibration. And it's one way you begin to have that understanding and can be really, really good at it. So Julie's saying Jesus came to me in a meditation so many years ago and put his right hand onto my head. This energy is soothing. Yes, yes. The time is becoming more and more magical. Be aware that as you think thoughts, you may turn around and there's the thought you have. You just really never know. Yes, I can feel the calmness everyone's having. Thank you, Barbara. She says she is grateful for bringing Jesus through. He emanates such a level of calm that calms her down. But I think that's why we're all still sitting here, is the energy that of his that he's mastered. Okay, his hand went into your head. Okay. Sometimes I have trouble with hypos. They just keep doing the same thing. It has a mind of its own. But you know what that is? It's married to us. We still do have a mind of our own sometimes, don't we? As much as we learn and know better and make choices and want to be in the love, there's resistance. There's wants and desires. And so we have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Tomorrow starts my weekend. And I think, well, it depends. If you're up the East Coast, you're going to get more of this hurricane. But yes. And you remember her energy last time when she spoke. Mary is a purity that is a quality that's beyond that word. There's a crystalline energy around her. It comes through as emerald because she's on that ray. But upon your request, she will always come. All of them will always come. And if for any reason, well, they're going to say no. There is no reason. Because their energy is so big, there could be a number of them at one time. So, Mother Mary, so innocent. That's the only word I can give for her. And so loving. And yet wise, so wise that she knew without a doubt. And her faith was to that depth within her. And she believed. And yes, there's those who could say yes, but she was still saddened. Yes, but perhaps if we speak to her today, she would have another outlook about that. Yes, that's true. He spoke of his father and his mother. And if I know I hear it and feel it when I speak it, but there's such a depth of honor, love, so many things when he speaks of them. Thank you, Barbara. We won't have any damage, I don't think. We're all the way on the West Coast. So we're just getting rain and wind for today, I believe. It was heading to Orlando this morning. That could be a different situation. But we'll hope for safety for everyone. I thought our prayer was touched and is still moving through the world very profoundly in very many things that I hear and that are happening. Yeah, well, the storm is more on the East Coast, but we have rain. It's 100% rain here. We have about 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. Now, in the hurricane, they were 100. We lost 2 big trees out here. But I can see it's making a stream, so much rain's coming down, which we did not even have in the hurricane. But I hope any of those of you that are on the East Coast, you're going to have a similar thing come up the waterway. See, and the thing to really get, though, when Jesus speaks of mother and father, remember, they're yours also. That's why I call them in the first time. Every time we come on, it's understanding that love, that honor, that depth of that godliness lies within you. You just have to be willing to allow it to come and to sit there and be there. So if any one of these things is the one thing you got from today, then wonderful. For it is, he just comes as himself, and he was telling me about the forest when it was time for me to be on, and it was like I was just taken into another, his voice takes you into another level of awareness. That's what it does for me. So I wish you the best of health and overwhelmingly happiness and peace. Eat healthy and put your feet on the floor and know you go way beyond that which you know. And you're on that process of discovering. And look in the mirror and you look in your right eye. I think I told you this the other day. And see what the soul of who you are wants to show you. Yep. So I'm going to go. I'll see you on Monday with messages. And I'll put this up on my community page about Kathy Madden. And I'd cut them off, so I don't know which day she was here. And we'll all move along on our path with contemplation of community. You know, if I think of the community here, it's, what's the word I want to say? Quiet. There is the quietness, but there's the, there's not a reaching out or interaction, which we talk about, but we haven't yet thought or just have, if we have a desire to make it more than that. So you have to think about your community and where you live. I have lived other places where that's been different. But yeah, community. And to what level can community be? Well, we're spiritual and spiritual teachers. One reason we still go to church is for community. To be in Father's house where many have prayed to him, you can feel that energy. It's an upliftment for us. It's the whole time we're in that church, we are consumed with that light. So if you haven't been to church for a while, and there's no judgment, you might want to find one that's somewhat neutral and go and sit in God's light, because he's in every church. And there's always been all those prayers that are still there that people offer. And maybe you'll feel a new aliveness of God that comes to you. And it's not like there's someone up there standing and speaking. You can hear what God's saying to you. We're all different. But that's what we find in our world here that we go to for community. All right. And certainly we come here and we have community. So that's also a blessing. Yes. All right. So have a powerful weekend. Uh, all the love I have, I send out to all of you, and wish for and safe travels if you're going somewhere, and happiness. Contemplate. What does that mean? Are you ready to know what happiness really is? Freedom, no restriction. Do what you want in each moment. Think about it. All right. We'll talk next week. Many blessings.